Motion to approve the minutes for the September 9th council meeting.
Second. You have a second? Ms. Brown? Roll call.
Ms. Astor?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Burkus?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Banks?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, those meeting minutes have been passed. Let's move on to matters presented by the public. Members of the public are invited to submit comments during the public comment portion of this meeting. The council pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act will not publicly discuss personnel matters and may choose not to respond to comments made by members of the public during this portion of the meeting. However, the council will give all comments appropriate consideration and will refer all individual complaints to the township manager or appropriate township representative for resolution. Each citizen will be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak in order to allow everyone an opportunity to express their opinions and or concerns. All right, we're gonna start by going by row. So I'm gonna call first row, second row, third row, etc. But once your row is called, if you didn't come up, then you know you'll miss your chance. So just to move this meeting along. So let's start with the first row.
You have any more minutes? We can get any back here. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joseph. I'm a resident in 98 Levels Drive, Mount Holly, New Jersey. And thanks for everyone coming. A full house. That's why I like it. But first question is, I would like to keep, our historic reservation, back where it was, where all the people come and it was plenty of kings to keep our history alive, not kings. Just leave it as it is. To keep, and second is, the 1% instant, how to dispute, the 1% instant from, I think from the UAZ, how that goes.
I'm not unsure what you're saying.
I want the 1% instant, the loan you give out.
The UEZ loans?
Yeah, the UAZ loan, the 1% instant, how that works into the town.
You talking about the UEZ?
Yeah, the 1%
You talking
in,
about how the loan program is?
yeah, the 1%, how that works,
All
or,
right, the UEZ is still in the process of finalizing that loan program, so nothing has been given out as of yet.
okay, that's why I want, and second is, resolution, I think,
Resolutions out.
2024,
That's it.
Yeah, because they've submitted applications.
Lewis, turn the speaker on. Ain't nobody hear that.
mhm.
We're talking about.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Resolution is, 2024 96 97.
24, 96, and 97.
Yeah, yes.
These are items that were gonna be inserted into the budget, right, John?
Grants that we received and the money just going into the budget.
So these are grants that we received, now the money is actually being inserted into the budget.
And my last comment is I want to thank everybody enjoying this live stream and recorded to share everyone what's going on in our beautiful towns. It's a YouTube. It's on the easy way you can find it. Mount Holly, Luis Lopez. My YouTube will come out automatic and on the top. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Louis.
Anybody?
No, go ahead, take care of that feedback.
That's okay. Should be good then. Oh? It's feeding back again. Oof. Hi, next to Don on 47 Garden Street. I have a petition I'd like to deliver. Can I give it to Sherry? And then I made copies for all of the council and one for the manager. Here, I'll deliver these. Let me read it. The petition says, "We, the undersigned residents of Branch and Garden Streets," it's actually a little wider than that, so surrounding, should I just turn this on?
If you can speak loud enough, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If the feedback is bothering you.
understand that Township Manager Josh Brown has not had resident traffic complaints. We said that because we got an email where he was talking with the county engineer, and he said he had only had one complaint, not multiple resident complaints. So the person who made the complaint and was asking for service was concerned that, oh, the township thinks there's not, resident concerns. So we went around and did this petition. The petition asks for two things. It says that there's a lot of speeding, and we also understand that there is an ordinance, 2022-10, which is about pass-through truck traffic. And what it's asking is that that council begin to try to get that ordinance passed, which involves getting the county, the state, and neighboring municipalities to agree to it. So there's some work to be done there. It's stalled right now. And we also had concerns about the speeding and accidents and so forth, and we'd like to see the township work on that. Here's the last one. There was one other thing. I don't know how much time I have. I'll try to make it quick. I looked at the reevaluation of the master plan, and I actually called ERI and I asked some questions. They said, hey, take a look at these county documents. Here's where we got our information from. I looked at it and I saw that the traffic data they used was from 2013. And at that time, 2 streets, well, because the report came out in 2019, they used 2013 data. So now it's 2024, that data is old. And 2 streets at that time were kind of a fail. One was Pine, which is obvious because parents are always picking their kids up, that place gets jammed up. The other one that I don't understand is Washington Street beyond Madison, going toward the bypass. For whatever reason, that gets jammed up more. But the rest of 537, Branch, Mill, Washington, in their data in 2013 was almost at the point of, we'll call it fail. That's not what they call it. So I asked them a question like, hey, did you guys use 2013 data? Did you realize that it's 10 years old? What is it now? And what's it going to be in 10 years? Because we're talking about a master plan that's for 10 years forward. So they said, well, we'll give your concerns to the manager and you guys will consider it. So I just wanted to bring that out now. I think that's an issue with the plan. Also, the thing on the petition about the pass-through traffic, if we could get that done, which I know is a lift, if we could get that done, there'd be less traffic on the roads. That might be a help. That's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Mind if I speak a little bit on Branch Street?
Sure.
Sure. In case anyone else. So, with Mr. Sedano speaking on the petition and Branch Street, I reached out to the county engineer, invited him to come to this meeting tonight because there is a standstill between us and the county. We're waiting on reports from the county before we can enter into a shared agreement with them, because it's not financially responsible to go into an agreement not knowing what you're going into agreement on. They have not fulfilled the warrant that was needed to be done, the assessment warrant, as of today. We received an email today before we came to the meeting that they are supposed to be reaching back to us within the next week with their findings. So hopefully we will have an answer on this within the next week. If not, I encourage everyone here that signed this petition to go to the county commissioners meeting. The next one is this Wednesday. And then I believe the following one after that is the 23rd. And if we don't have an answer, demand why we don't have an answer from them yet. So we are doing our end. We can't do that for their end also. So I do appreciate everyone coming up. I will forward this over to the county to make sure they know it's not just a single complaint that this is wanted by the residents of Mount Holly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Where is that meeting and what time? You said it's on Wednesday.
So, I'm sorry.
County Commissioners meeting.
You said it's Wednesday?
It's Wednesday. I know it's Wednesday. I don't know the exact time off the top of my head. I do apologize for that. I should have looked it up. We're rushing a little bit before we get to the before we have executive session tonight, so I do apologize for that. I will look up the meeting and get it to you after the meeting tonight, yeah.
We'll get you that information. Anyone else in the first row?
St. Crowley, 25 Broad Street. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Seems at times that this is a thankless job, and I respect the fact that you, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Is that better or worse?
Better.
Better? This seems like a thankless job, and I just want to say I respect each and every one of you for coming and doing this. And I'm sure at times people seem upset with you, but I'm sure deep down they respect that you guys are trying to make a difference. So I'm just coming here for a little clarification. Mr. Brown, do you want to keep Mount Holly historic? Do you like historic Mount Holly? Do you want to keep Mount Holly historic?
I haven't talked to with my council yet.
Okay. Mr. Jones, would you like to keep historic Mount Holly historic?
I don't see why we wouldn't want to keep the historic Mount Holly historic.
Okay.
That's me personally speaking.
Right. So, Mr. Mayor Banks, would you like to keep historic Mount Holly historic?
Are you gonna ask everyone on the council? the same
Absolutely.
question? I don't have a problem with the historic commission. I don't have a problem.
Is that a yes?
Here's the thing, I don't have a problem, I'm okay with the historic overlay zone. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Now, my question is, why are you asking me particular questions? I'm just curious.
Well, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Ms. Astor, would you like to keep historic Mount Holly historic?
Absolutely, and I've been talking to people that used to be on the historic commission, if they like to join, if we get it reinstated, and with
Okay.
that, we can get.
I'll take that as a yes. Ms.
Yeah.
Perkins? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I
back,
guess, yes, ma'am.
are you a yes now?
Yeah.
I knew if you had a yes in you. So back to Mr. Jones and Mr. Banks. I asked this question because on September 10th, there was a planning board meeting. Planning board meeting that, they announced that the public had 10 days to get the documents in order to go over, which wasn't true. More than that, the people on the board didn't receive those documents, and you can attest to this. You didn't get those documents until either Friday night, which was 4 days before the meeting, or maybe even Monday. It was 108 pages. So in that set of, that package that you got, that most of you, I'm sure, probably didn't read, I couldn't have read that thing in a week. The bottom line is on page 37, 7A, it says very clearly that they are looking to delete from the township plan the enforcement of historic Mount Holly. So if you want to keep Mount Holly historic, as you both claim, and Mr. Brown, obviously that's the right answer, why would anyone vote to get rid of the teeth to keep historic Mount Holly? And the answer is, and I've been there, sometimes you misread it, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, I'm sure you didn't see it.
No, I can tell you, none of us voted on that.
You guys
I
were there.
wasn't at the planning.
Oh, you weren't
board
there?
meeting.
Okay, then I
So
apologize.
I wasn't at the planning board meeting, I had a work obligation, I
Okay,
apologize.
so you weren't there, okay.
So,
So Mayor Banks,
I wasn't there either.
you guys were all there, no?
No.
Oh,
We were
thank
not
God,
at the planning board
then that's
meeting.
great news. One,
Let me ask you this though.
sure,
You're saying that this was in the plan, right?
Yes,
I was not
absolutely.
in attendance to that meeting, I think that meeting occurred right after our last meeting here.
okay, well, I feel a lot better.
Now, my question is, are you in favor of keeping it?
Oh, absolutely.
You're in favor of keeping it? Now, in regards to residents, now, I think a few years ago, when was the last time the commission was actually,
So here's the kicker.
no, I'm saying, when's the last time the commission, it was over 10 years ago, I would assume, right? Right? Somewhere around there, right? So the commission There hasn't been anyone on the commission for over 10 years.
Well, we still have rules in
Yeah, we
place
still
to
have rules.
protect, right?
We still have rules. But
Okay.
you don't want those, here's the thing, you don't want those rules to be too restrictive.
Oh, I know
for-
that.
For new buyers, because
Right.
there were complaints back in the last re.
No, I get that. That's kind of a ruse.
Hey, when I'm speaking, just.
I'm
wait
sorry.
till I'm finished, and then you can.
Yep, there you go. You got the mic.
So, they're very restrictive at some of those restrictions, correct?
That's correct.
And do you want to take or be restricted to new residents moving in and not allow them to do certain improvements to their home?
So the good news is that, those, really, restrictive things that haven't been enforced, they haven't done that in a long
They
time.
haven't been enforced, they haven't been enforced since the
Right.
commission.
But the essence of it is still there. So
Right.
if I wanted to knock down my house and build an apartment building, or build a bigger house, I
Correct.
couldn't do it.
Correct.
But when you take the teeth out of the rules, but actually, I think we're missing something here, and I think this is the big part of it, I just learned this today. We got a letter from the state of New Jersey in 2022, basically telling us we're gonna be deleted from the historic Mount Holly, for being a historic town, and they're gonna leave it up to the feds to make that decision. I'm sure 80, 90%, probably 100% of the town had no idea back in 2022. The state of New Jersey wrote us a letter telling us, you guys are done.
I believe so, but let me say this
Okay.
though, let me say this.
So-
Hold on. So in regard to the historic commission, where are a majority of the historical houses? Where are they? Are they throughout the entire town?
There's a footprint.
No, I'm just.
As you're aware,
Are they
there's a
throughout the
footprint.
entire town? Or are they located in a certain area?
In 2022, the state of New Jersey
No,
said
that's
you
not
guys
what I'm
are
asking.
cooked.
That's not what I'm asking. You didn't answer the question.
You want the boundary, it's a
No, you
footprint.
didn't answer the question. That's okay, but I understand, but.
It's not the
I
whole
appreciate-
place, but it's the historic town,
I appreciate
right?
your. I
We
appreciate
understand,
your
I think we all know what the footprint of historic Mahali is.
But I appreciate your concerns.
All right, well, I
it.
appreciate you, and I mean that. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Anyone else in the first row?
I'm Carolyn Tice, TICE, 189 Jefferson Avenue, Mount Holly. I've been residing in Mount Holly for 83 years. Last time I talked, it was 82 years. A year has gone by. I'm going to go back, I'm not going to go all the way back to 2001, but I will tell you. October the 2nd, I went to the township meetings. I gave pictures of the land to the backers. He said he would get them back to me when they were done with them. That's fine and dandy. You want to keep them because you were going to turn them in and let them see what's going on with their property, my property. October the 3rd, Josh Brown came to my home. He looked at all my property, the whole thing, from the 6 cars down the hill, the appliances that washed out. And in fact, the last bad rainstorm we had at the end of the street, out came a hot water heater from 50 years ago. Okay. December the 11th of 23 was the last township meeting. I was told that they had put in an emergency grant. Emergency. But then I get these things in the mail where they have millions for this and millions for that. They're having, okay, some of it really needs, like Friend Clover Street needs to be repaired and all that kind of stuff. There is good stuff that's going to be done. I like to live in my home. I've been there since 1967. Most of my plants, rose bushes, all my other plants, trees have gone over. A giant tree crashed across my property and knocked more of my ground down. I'm losing my property and I'm paying over $7,000 a year taxes. which, by the way, was told that the taxes were not raised. Sorry, but they have been raised. So anyway, am I upset? I'm very upset. Am I going to be voting soon? Oh, yes, I am. So, anyway, there I stand. So I'd like to know your input of what you're going to do for me and my property that I really, really took wonderful care of, that I'm not having on my property with me now.
And we appreciate your concerns, Ms. Tyson. I remember you coming into the meeting. As a board, we haven't made any decisions in regards to that yet. So hopefully we can have some kind of decision, another discussion in terms of what's best for your property. In regards to taxes, my Holly's taxes have been stable. Now, the county taxes, fire district, they've been raised throughout the years. So,
Nothing ever can stand.
Yeah.
Nothing ever
they've
stays.
been raised, right. I mean, our tax statements went out. I'm pretty sure you saw the breakdown of the percentages of the school district, fire district, county, open space, you know, and ours. Ours have remained pretty much stable. So the other taxes have been raised. But as a board, we remember you coming in and we looked into multiple situations. We still have to come up with some kind of resolution for you.
Yes, because, I mean, you're going to be putting parks down behind the municipal building that floods all the time. You're going to be beautifying Mount Holly. I would like to have my land
Understood?
and protect my home.
Understood.
So where is the emergency grant? How long? You've got your millions for everything else, but me.
Understood. We'll look for a resolution for you. Okay, thank you, Ms. Tyson.
I don't need that mic because I talk loud enough as it is. I've been here before with Miss
Just
Tice.
state your name and address.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Correct.
James Nelson, 193 Jefferson Avenue, Mount Holly. The reason why I'm here tonight is for a couple of reasons. There's a couple things I've been told, and I don't know how true they are, so I want some clarification to the authenticity of this rumors I've heard. Number one, speaking from Carolyn Tice about the road deteriorating on Jefferson Avenue. Now, you all remember me coming here talking about it with her, and she was told, and I was told, there was emergency request for monies for this. Well, that was a year ago. And since that year's time, I would like the township to tell me what they've done to Mount Holly in that year's time that Mount Holly paid for. That's number one.
You want us to tell us what we've done?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir.
I'm curious what the question is. You're asking, what do you want to know what we've done with what, emergency funds?
I'm requesting the information on what has been done monetarily to Mount Holly and all that Tim Mount Holly Township has paid for
Okay.
since this emergency request for the monies to see if they could fix this thing.
Josh, just a quick question. What was the status of that emergency request? That was through, we requested the county or the
It's a
state?
specific DOT grant that goes to the commissioner of the DOT. It's their discretion on when they supply the money and when they don't supply the money. So it's a very specific grant. It's not like it's different grants. It's just one grant for that.
So the one that we applied for was for a specific grant from the DOT, Department of Transportation, correct?
And it's up to the commissioner to approve it or not.
Okay.
Is there
And
any sense of timing from that?
They don't have to have time.
they don't provide a timing for us in regards to that. That's why we don't have any update in regards to that particular request.
I hope somebody heard that because I didn't hear it, because I'm hard of hearing. Sorry about that, but.
Oh, no worries, I'll repeat. So, that request from the Department of Transportation, that emergency request fund, that grant, they didn't give us a timeline on when they'll give us an answer or a resolution, whether they accepted our request or denied our request. So right now, we're still waiting for some type of answer from them in terms of that request.
Well, with that answer, I'd like to request that this township notify them people that they're gonna cause a landslide in that ravine.
Understood.
If they come out there and look at it, they'll pass it, there's no doubt about it.
But we
Because that's
didn't come
township
out.
property, it's a township problem, and if they don't correct it, they're just looking for some to have to pay for somebody's house that's gonna disappear.
Understood.
Okay, that was the number one. Number two, it was brought to my attention that the township, I believe it's the township, is gonna build a road behind the hospital to come around behind the hospital down Jefferson Avenue. Is that correct or incorrect?
I think that's, Josh, that's incorrect.
It wouldn't be the township, it would be virtual, and I don't.
I'm sorry, sir?
So that wouldn't be the township, that would be virtual hospital, and they would have to go in front of the planning board to show it. They haven't been in front of the planning board to show anything.
So what you're saying is there's no myth, there's no truth to the myth?
I'm saying that they haven't been in front of the planning board, so I don't know what they're.
Well, let me ask this question.
Go ahead.
If they bring it before the planning committee, what is the purpose of it?
Well,
This
I think
is
virtual-
something, I'm just bringing it up for the edification of you people so you'll know. If they take a road, if they ask to build a road from Madison Avenue around, away from the parking lot by the ravine towards Jefferson Avenue, the purpose of that, in my opinion, is so they can make that whole property that they tore down, all those houses, 28 of them, and build a super parking lot, the whole thing. They would eliminate those two roads and build and smooth out to a parking lot. That's what I'm understanding.
I don't think they're building a parking lot. I think Virtual's plans were to build a new tower. So,
Build a what?
a new tower for more hospital beds.
Well, go back to the beginning.
Not more, just a new tower.
Well, just go back to the beginning of this whole fiasco of tearing these houses down. They wanted to build an overpass from the hospital to the day surgery center. An overpass, so people wouldn't get run over walking from the hospital to there. And I was under the impression, or was told, that the township denied it. After they tore down all the houses, because they wanted to build a teaching school, a teaching, or college or something, in those properties where all those 28 houses were. Now, we lost all that revenue, for what purpose?
That was well before any of our time.
Well, I'm just telling you what the story is. I've been here since 1984 in the same house. Not as long as Miss Tyson, but I've seen a lot of underhanded stuff going on around here between that hospital and Mount Holly. For whatever reason, good or bad. But I think it's up to the township of Mount Holly to back up the people that live in here. Damn that hospital, because they was gonna move that hospital out there in 541. That fell through for some reason, because of the fact that the township wouldn't allow them to build that overpass to the daycare center. That's number two.
But your time is up, Mr. Nelson.
It's up?
Yeah, but you have one more quick point?
No, it's up.
Sure.
I'll stick to the rules.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for listening to me.
Let the little man talk.
Jim, can you try to fix that feedback?
Earlier today it was fine, I don't know.
Move this thing from.
It was a problem.
Watch out, buddy.
All right, that's better. All right, I think the first row is, anyone else in the first row? All right, let's move on to the second row. Anyone in the second row?
Hi, Christy Dragan, 37 Broad Street. Nice to see you again, Mayor Banks.
Nice to see you too, Dragon.
First, I wanted to thank the committee the council for your recent Bridgeton newsletter. It was an excellent publication, and I would like to request that consideration that be published more frequently, like maybe on a quarterly basis, and posted on, perhaps, I know printing might be expensive, mailing, etc., so you could post it online. And secondly, as part of that, if you would include issues that the township is facing, because I had a lot of the successes, but I'd love it if it could include a section about the issues we're facing and that you guys are working. And the next section, my next question is related to where you were speaking with Mr. Riley. Could you share the rest of your line of thinking about, you asked the question, where are the historic houses located in Mount Holly? I'm trying to understand where you were going with that.
Yeah, I just wanted, my point is that the whole town is historic, but there's a certain section that has more historic homes than others. So in that particular thing, that was my thought process going on there, because the whole town is historic, but there's a lot of new development. There's a lot of development that was built 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So that's why I was wondering in terms of how, as an historic commission, is it gonna be just area specific, or is it gonna be for the whole town? And trying to find that right balance between the two. You don't wanna be too restrictive, but you also wanna preserve history. So finding that right balance, and that's where I would go.
Do you have a vision of how, do you see a town where it's appropriate to keep just a small footprint, as the word was used, of historic homes, and then where there are less, newer buildings or 30, 40 years old, that would be able to be turned over and become as modern as, whatever?
Right. At some point, I would think the existing buildings, everything, if we live long enough, everything would be historic, right? So, but it probably has to be site specific throughout the town, and then where the actual, those properties are located as well. Because if you have a commission and you have, like I said, the main thing is you don't want to be too restricted. Because I know a lot of individuals, not a lot, but I know a few individuals that sold their homes because it was too restrictive at that time. And sometimes you have a new homeowner and you have these restrictions and they can't afford, and here's the thing, inflation, right? The cost to build homes now, or cost to fix an older home, it has skyrocketed. So how do we address that too as well? Because you don't wanna make it to the point where it's unattainable for the average person. So that's my thought process on that, because you wanna make it, you wanna strike that fine balance between the two. Preserving history and also allowing other individuals to partake in, enjoy some of the fruits of that labor.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna run out of time, so let me just finish this with this question. The letter that was referred to saying that our town is in jeopardy of losing its certification, that it's up to now a federal entity to make that decision. And that letter came out in 2022. Is there a move afoot to address this, to go back and ensure that we do not lose our certification and our designation?
That's something as a board we're gonna have to revisit, because that was over 2 years ago, and we have so many other things that came up in between that time frame. But that's something I'm glad you brought up to our attention, because we have to revisit it, because it has almost been put to the side since it was over 2 years ago, and we had other issues that we.
Okay, and do you see the forming like a subcommittee that would address or bring residents together to address the pros, the cons, the affordability, all the different things that you outlined?
I think we could. If you want to speak, if you want to stay around to the end of the meeting, I'll have a conversation with you. Okay. Actually, we haven't put it in a while anyway, so it's been a few years. So,
okay. Thank you.
I'll be open for any questions you might have after.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Dragon. Jim.
Yes.
Is this like feeding, is bouncing off this wall back here?
I know it was, this afternoon was fine, I think.
Wow, that helped.
24 Broad Street. I have a question about this historical. I think we're talking about two different things. We're talking about, are we are we at jeopardy of losing the whole town as an historic town? Or there is a historic district within the town?
I'm not sure, because I gotta go back and look at that letter from 2 years ago.
We still are under historic guidelines as a townwide. This letter is specific to having a commission, having updated rules that apply, that you need to have codified national regulations.
Well, if you need somebody to be on a commission, I would certainly volunteer. I'd hate to see it go. I mean, I think it's just part of who Mount Holly is, and I just do not want to see it. So I will do anything. I will work on a commission. I'll help. Christie, like, please, you have to save it.
Okay, I appreciate it.
That's my wife upstage now. I think the clarity really, what we're looking at actually, there are sections of town that really deserve preservation.
Yeah.
Right? Not the area like behind the high school, newer construction, maybe the Rebecca homes that were built in the 50s. But maybe at some point someone would want to preserve that, but not right now. The big issue is, I think everyone's concerned about downtown. Downtown in a couple of residential areas where the homes are old, you know, they have historic significance. The preservation efforts really should be on those areas. I don't think anyone is looking at a blanket, a blanket ordinance that prohibits anyone from doing any sort of work on their homes unless it's in a historic district or it is a historic home. That's all I really have to say.
Cool, thank you, Vince.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Brenda Oresic, 30 Branch Street, Mount Holly. I believe I was also at the planning for the town and the historic preservation wanting to be eliminated. I was actually very upset about that. I am here right now, though. I have a list of homes that I can show you. It's not the whole town, it's a list.
Why you gonna show me? Can you print that out at some point and send it to us? Where everybody can see? Here's the thing. It's on your personal device?
It's on the township webpage.
But she has it on her personal device. I don't want her personal device to be passed around, so.
Okay, well, there's a list of homes. So it's not all the homes, it's not the homes newly built. They have special, credentials that they meet historical housing. They're the ones that we want preserved. Already, we have a lot of the homes that are not being preserved. There's funding that you can get for preservation.
For a second?
Mm-hmm.
I hear too much while she's speaking. I hear someone else speaking. Can you please refrain from having any separate conversations amongst yourselves while somebody's speaking, please? All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So there are grants and things available for preserving homes. In fact, I looked into preserving the Girard House. I called Washington DC Preservation.
Are they state grants or they are
This was,
federal grants?
I called them, it was a national grant. She said, I could not use that money to purchase the home to give to an organization because it first had to be bought and then those funds could be available to me. So I know there is funding. You just have to look into it. I'm sure you could get my thought, and I don't have anything other than to give you than when I was trying to at least save the Stephen Girard House before it went to another flipper. And I was looking into funding to get it, but Washington DC told me the preservation, I would have had to buy it, and then there was money available to me to preserve it, but other than that, they couldn't help me. They actually told me to go to my town and go to the Preservation Commission. I said, we don't have one. So, thank you.
Thank you, Brenda.
If you have a mic stand, it'll stop. Just take it off that podium, it'll stop.
I was just gonna turn it off.
Susan Ortega, 136 Buttonwood. I'm wondering if the council will be looking up the planning board meeting that you weren't able to attend to see exactly what the planning board's plans were, so that we're,
You referring to the master plan?
yeah, so that we're, everybody's on the same page. And then, another thing, I know there's a lot of talk about, traffic on the main roads and everything else, but I've often wondered why there isn't a police presence within the neighborhoods, especially at the end of, the high school day. But I'm at the corner of Buttonwood and Union, and, you know, over the last few years, we've had a couple of accidents where people always run the stop sign there, but where they almost went into the house on the corner there, they missed it by an inch. And we have kids on our street that do not look before they cross, but yet you have people flying down the roads or anything, but there's never a police presence anywhere to ticket or to deter or anything. And I'm so afraid that one of these days, some kid's gonna get hit and God forbid, but get killed, because they fly so fast and they don't even look. And so that was my other concern.
Good.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, thank you. Just to follow up, Mr. Ortega, Captain, did you hear what she
I heard something about lack of police presence in the morning for the school.
Probably morning and afternoon.
That is not always the case. We mandate our officers to be there. There's an arrival and dismissal. There's tons of instances where they are there. They may not just be in your intersection, and also be aware, at those times, we're running 2 officers right now. Just 2. I'd love to, but the state of the situation with law enforcement, nobody wants this job anymore. So it's been very difficult to hire. We're 4 officers short, 5 officers short. So we're trying to do a lot with a little, so I apologize. But we are rebuilding. Good news is we do have people in the academy. Excuse me, I lost my voice, so I'm trying to work through that. But they're not good to us probably for 6 months. Gotta go through the academy, then they gotta go through an FTO program, and then if they pass that, we're lucky enough to have them on the street. So hiring, retention, it's a difficult time right now for law enforcement. So we're doing the best we can. If they're mandatory to be there, if they can be there. We're over 13,000 calls this year with 2, maybe 3 officers on the street. So please bear with us.
I appreciate it.
I'll listen to it. Please tell me, like, I wanna know. If we get there, we get there. I wanna know how.
Okay,
Thank you, Captain. Ms. Ortega, I appreciate you bringing that to attention, because I'm in that area during that time too, and I know how dangerous it is. We did complete a study with a group through the county and through another organization. They had the report right here that just finished for us. It's about the bicycle and pedestrian road safety audit that was done, identified a lot of the issues throughout town, and mainly the issues around where you live in terms of the traffic. Now, with this study being, and we can publish it because we still have to finalize some of the wording in this particular report, but this report allows us to now go out and ask for more funding for these particular issues. So we do have a meeting sometime this week. I gotta check my calendar right now, but that's something that I'm familiar with, everyone is familiar with. Because the traffic in that particular area, especially going to and from the high school, is dangerous. I try to avoid it at certain times of the day myself. So we hear your concerns, and that's something that we've been looking into. Finally, we have the report completed. It'll probably be issued after our final meeting, and they have some recommendations in terms of some of the things that we might can try to implement and apply for funding for. So hopefully that answers your questions moving forward, and we'll keep you updated on this particular thing too as well.
thank you.
Cool, thank you. I think we're in 2. Anyone else in 2? Let's move on to row 3. Row 3. All right, so no one went in row 3, row 4?
Oh, you can't even get that straight? That's good.
Back to row 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
48 Church Street, Christopher Leisure. The only thing I want to do is I want to bring something up to attention. Just like Chief Spencer was talking about low personnel, we have about 20 to 40 active firefighters, only a certain number of drivers, and all of them work during the day. We've been actively trying to get volunteers to come in so we can have drivers for daytime operations. But the problem is, in our bylaws, it states there is a 3-year driver block. You have to be an active member.
Which bylaws? Are they bylaws, fire district bylaws?
They're fire district, but I'm bringing attention, so there's a bunch of people here, just letting them know. The reason why we're having trouble responding to calls, if anyone has a question during the daytime, is because in order to get new drivers, just to send them to school, they have to be a member of the fire department for 3 years. After 3 years of active membership, you are then allowed to drive and get your CEVO and EVO for those apparatuses. So the thing is, we have a bunch of new guys. The people that drive are not available during the day they work. One guy works Amtrak, one guy works this, I work medical transport. So, and I can't drive. I have CDL, I can't drive. So, I'm just saying, we need help, if anything, just to try and change these bylaws so we can start getting drivers out of these volunteers so we can start responding more to calls. Because I've seen a lot of calls and we'll be down at the station. We got a driver? No. So you got 3, 4 guys sitting at the station, we can't go. That's basically what's going on. So I just want to bring attention to that, and that there needs to be something done, even if the pressure, whether it's the fire commissioners now or the fire commissioners of the future, tell them we got to get rid of and start updating these laws and bylaws within what we're working with, so we can start getting people to go. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
All right, no problem.
Anyone else in 3, row 3? All right, row 4?
Good evening. I've never been to one of these meetings before.
State your name and address.
Okay. I'm Al Brody, 414 High Street. And what I was saying is that I've never been to one of these meetings before, so I'm really not familiar with the format. But, and I apologize for what I'm about to say, but I think I fell asleep back there. Because I don't remember coming to an end on this historic preservation plan, as far as understanding what's happening, when this meeting will occur, and how this meeting occurs, and how the township itself will be informed prior to this meeting, so I don't wake up one morning and find out that somebody passed this ordinance. So can you tell me how that's done?
So your question is in regards to the historical commission again?
That's correct. The historic preservation plan, which basically will eliminate the land use ordinance.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Well, I have it here, okay? Delete it from the township master plan as well as implementing regulations in the land use ordinance. This is the information that I've acquired.
Right.
So that's some pretty important information,
So
especially
are
to
you
me.
referring to in the master plan saying that?
That's exactly
that
right.
being deleted, right. So we talked about that earlier, so if you want to hang around, I'll give you the update in regards to.
Well, I think everybody here might be interested.
We already talked about
Well,
it.
you've had some, but what information are you gonna feed me before this meeting transpires where you live? How are you
We're not
gonna?
voting on anything.
What's that?
That is not even, we're not voting on anything today in regards to the historical commission.
But do you intend to?
For what?
Step, for planning board, just with the master plan, when is the next meeting?
The next meeting, I think, is next month, I'm correct, right? November?
November, yes.
Yeah, in November, so that's a planning board meeting. The
Everything's
board-
next month, I hear. I've just
Right, because the
spoken to a
board,
couple
here's the
people
thing,
here.
the council did, the planning board.
Do you make that plan, that?
No, I do not.
Okay,
There's-
so
there's a
who makes
board.
this, who
It's
makes
a
this
board.
vote?
We,
In order to change the ordinance, it would have to come to you first, go to the planning board, and then come back.
come back to us.
To amend any ordinance change within the zone.
as a board, from here, for these, our 5 individuals, we haven't discussed anything in regards to the historical commission yet.
Okay,
So that's what I'm just confused in terms of where are you going with your question?
where I'm going is, then I need to know, when is this planning board meeting? When does that discuss?
Nothing has been changed with this one.
So I know nothing's been changed,
So
but
nothing's been changed.
I'm gonna walk in here one day and you're gonna tell me that, well, they voted on that.
So
So
I would
what I'm
say-
asking you is,
Well, council would have to make an ordinance, it would have to be published in the newspaper, it would have to go to the planning board.
Okay.
The planning board had to vote on it, to whatever the ordinance is, and then it would have to go back to council for council to vote on it a second time and have a public hearing.
And that hasn't
None of
happened.
that's been established.
okay, so what you're telling me is that I'm gonna get public notice. Is that correct? Before you ever vote
Before
on
any-
this plan?
Correct.
Well, that answers the question.
May I answer your question that has been answered? The next planning board meeting is in 2 weeks, October 21st, here at 6 p.m. I did attend the master plan meeting. There were quite a few people who were absent. I'm not on the planning board, but I did attend, and everything that you're reading, like, that passed, the master plan was voted on and passed. So if you have any questions, I would definitely bring it to the planning board.
Come back to the planning board
In
next
2
month.
weeks. But yeah, so far, nothing has come to us.
And what do you do in 2 weeks? Do you vote on that?
That will be, for us, like for these, us 5 individuals here, no, because it hasn't come back to us yet. You have to go to the next planning board meeting, which she did mention,
Yeah.
Councilman Esther said on October 21st.
Okay, very good. Well, I got that
Right
question
here.
answered.
Right here.
21st.
Okay.
And then you
And
can.
guess what? I have another one. And I was gonna ask it, but unfortunately, the chief basically discouraged me because he doesn't have the money. But my question was, chief, I live on High Street, and basically I've noticed that the traffic of heavy vehicles is tremendous right now. I wouldn't be able to sit on my front porch. And other than the speeding cars, but obviously if you have 2 officers, I think you have more important things to do.
It has always been a concern, heavy traffic only allowed, if they're making a delivery, that's the only way they're allowed down that town, in that area.
But I thought there was a sign that came off of the bypass that basically said that no vehicles over a certain amount of tonnage were allowed down High Street.
In certain areas, yes, you're 100% correct, unless they're making a delivery, there's an exemption.
Well, there's a lot of cars big trucks making deliveries to houses.
Yeah, 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning, 18 wheelers.
Yeah, who said that? Who said
Me,
that? There you go.
'cause they wake me up.
Anyone else in row 4? Mr. Johnson. Yes.
Good evening, council. The family from Holly, it's good to be here. That's a good evening, council, and the family of Mount Holly, it's good to be here. You know, I wasn't gonna say anything at all. But then one of the young gentlemen here spoke about the historical relevance of our town. America recognizes Mount Holly. So Mount Holly should recognize that history runs straight through here. From High Street to High Street Burlington to the Delaware, many incidents took place that formed our country. And when I was on the historical commission in '84, in '85 until health conditions. So when it kind of died, I was just wondering what took place. When did our hearts die here in this town? And then I was revived. Thank you. To think that it hadn't died. Now many of us know about playing baseball, basketball,
in many parts of this town. Many of us have taught here, we've lived here, we've raised our families, some of us are grandfathers and great-grandfathers and things of that nature. It's important. So I say thank you. I'm glad that the young man stood up and made us realize that we are letting some of the most important parts of this history. Princeton has a history. Cherry Hill has a history. And guess what? So does Mount Holly, wrapped in this country.
All right, we still on row 4. Anyone else on row 4? Okay.
Hi, Amanda Jacobson, 433 Merritt Drive. I just wanted to bring something up too, not to harp on this too much, but what you just said, America recognizes Mount Holly. I think that's how we're all feeling right now. And something I wanted to point out, I myself moved here because it was historic Mount Holly. I know friends and young families moved here because they saw it was a town that was growing. And I wanted to just read out some facts really fast. So Salem, Massachusetts, settled in 1626 and was incorporated in 1629. Providence, Rhode Island, 1636, incorporated 1832. Bordentown, settled 1682, incorporated 1825. Manhattan, 1624. Lambertville, 1627, and Mount Holly, settled 1677. We are a town that, like you said, we're recognized in American history. And I think it would be kind of tragic to lose that. And a lot of people, when we're talking here today, even when we brought up the traffic, because we're worried about children and running that, on Branch Street and Gardner Street, the kids walking home from school, we're raising our families here and we care about our children and the community because it is something we just want to build and make better. And I agree with what you said about rising costs and things like that. And I think a lot of residents are worried about gentrification and things like that because, to be honest, I bought my house 10 years ago. I couldn't afford to buy my house now with the rising costs. I'm priced out. I'm lucky that I got my house when I did. And it's not a historic home in the town. But again, I kind of worked my butt off to get that house because I wanted to be here. And with keeping Mount Holly historic, if we can do that, I don't really feel that that limits our ability to expand because, like we said, there's certain, I think we're kind of focused on downtown and our really historic sides of it, but where is it? I think saving historic Mount Holly and building on top of that and letting America know and our neighboring towns that we have such history and culture here, that could really build up what we have and not lessen it. And I wanted to say one other thing because I know a lot of people, you mentioned it, and I have some friends who said if there's a commission that's getting built on having this, we know we have people who want to volunteer, and if there's grants available, is there possibly any way we could make that information more known? Because I think we have so many citizens willing and ready to be involved, but there's just not a lot of clarity on how we can get that information to them to get the ball rolling. And with the planning board meeting, we have that set up, so that's my time. All right.
Hey, go finish your thought.
Okay. Yeah, basically, I just want to make sure that if we have those grants available, we can make that information ready to the public. And I just would really like to urge this committee, when we do go forward to the planning board, about how important I think it is to the people of this town that we keep it historic and that only can make our town grow because that's what people are drawn to here instead of limiting our possibilities and getting smaller.
Thank you, Jake. All right.
Roy Bozar, 408 High Street. You know, I sit here
the utmost respect, because I know what it's like to serve Krieger Township. I served on the school board for 26 years. I know the problems you have filing a budget, because we're losing properties left and right. We know that the hospital took how many properties are away from us. I'm glad to see that there's a lot of houses being flipped. That's a good thing, because that's gonna help the tax dollars, because the houses are gonna be worth a little bit more. They're gonna be occupied, we're not gonna have the problems. But one thing before I go any further is, why are you guys so far away? I can't even read your names.
No.
That to me is a turnoff. Because when you ran for the council, you promised all of us, you were there for us. So we either voted for you or we voted for the other guy. But we voted in faith that the people that are gonna serve are gonna help the people. I've heard numerous complaints about people that are trying to get something done. This poor lady is gonna lose her house. Is anybody worried about that? No, it's a political stance. And you come back with who knows what. Look, it's not our problem, it's somebody else's, and that person's we have to wait for this township, this group to do this, we have to wait for this group to do that. That's bullshit. If you guys really cared for the people in this township, you'd be fighting for them, not waiting for them to make a decision. They're sitting in another office or another room at a table 50 feet away from the people that they serve, which is disgusting. My recommendation, you guys should be right here.
Yep.
So we can look at you in the eye, read your name, and respect you for who you're supposed to be. Now, I'm off my high horse for now. But I will say, I've been in Mount Holly since 1973. That's 51 years. I'm 74 years old. I'm not going anywhere. My wife and I are both retired teachers. We love the town of Mount Holly. There's a lot of good things in Mount Holly. And there's some bad things. One bad thing that I can't stomach right now is all the dispensaries that we have. We don't need those. Obviously, you're bringing in tax revenue. Well, that stinks. If we're looking at tax revenue over the happiness of the community, what are you bringing into the town by putting those in? I have no idea. But the good things in Mount Holly, man, we have a car show, we have all kinds of activities for the community, bringing people into Mount Holly. And living on High Street where I am, people park down in the Fairgrounds Plaza, and they walk down High Street, and you see this. Wow. They're looking at the old Victorian house. That's a nice thing for Mount Holly. You know, when I bought my Victorian house at 408 High Street, I paid $32,000 for it. That was back in 1973. My taxes were like $2,800. Now I'm paying a lot more, everybody else is too, but I understand the deal. And I want to thank the chief of police, because I know what he's under. I have a couple friends on the staff, on the police force, and we're doing the best we can. But there are some bad things. And I found out the other day that there's scuttlebutt about possibly losing the title of historical town. That's one of the good things for Mount Holly. That brings people in. How much money did we spend? I don't even know, and I should know. How much money did it cost to restore the prison? Anybody know? Who paid for that? Was it grants? The county paid for it. Okay, so the county respects the historical district.
Yes, they do.
If they put that much money out to restore that building, and the Lyceum. The Lyceum, they were to close that thing down. I don't know who stepped up and. The county did. Okay, so the county is in favor of a historic issue. Well, if we do away with that, what's the county gonna do to us? I can remember, back when I was on the school board, we had a mayor who came in, not gonna mention any names, came in, changed the whole platform. He decided that, well, in order for the cars to park in the parking lot behind the police station, the ones that are here as, jury members, they can't use the parking lot anymore. They gotta find someplace else to park. Do you guys, any of you remember that?
No.
And he also decided he was gonna put parking meters downtown.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that really slowed things down as far as bringing things in.
yes.
You know what the county did to the school district because of that? We now had to find our own trash pickup. We also had to find our own people to clear our parking lots when it snowed. We also lost the opportunity to get gas at the county gas pump for our buses. So the county turned on us because of a mayor who decided he was gonna turn Mount Holly around. And he tried to make changes. Well, you know what? Change isn't always good.
Thank you.
It really isn't. And my recommendation is, like I said, I'm not going anywhere, but I vote. If this thing goes down, where we lose our historical township, I'm not voting for anybody that's on this. If you sat here and promised, I think everybody said, yes, 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 right? I couldn't hear, because you're so far away, but I expect you to stand up for the people in this town. I expect this lady to get somebody to come out. Anybody here want to volunteer to come out and talk to this lady in her front yard?
I volunteer. You've done that already.
I got some people gonna come and talk.
Mr. Bozark.
That's what we need.
Mr. Bozark, we appreciate everything, but your
My
time,
3
I don't know
minutes
if
is
you're right,
up.
but your time expired. We appreciate everything.
Okay,
Thank you, sir. We are on 4. Anyone else in 4? Row 4? Row 5.
Pierre Ford, 117 Branch Street. Before I get started, thank you, everybody who showed up. This is how it's supposed to be as a community. I only have one question, and it's about, can I talk about the resolutions? Oh, okay. Resolution number 2024, TAC 95. It deals with, resolution amending certain records of the tax collector, totally disabled veteran. Is that for, property taxes or business taxes? What is it?
That's property taxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, the reason why I brought this up, well, somebody else my wife brought it up, but, I brought this up a long time ago. If you guys can put down what the definition of these resolutions are, because a lot of us don't know what these resolutions are. And if we knew a little bit about what was going on with these resolutions, then we would have a better understanding. That's all I have.
Cool, thank you. All right, thank you.
Yeah, can I answer your question? I'm not gonna answer. Every Thursday afternoon, Sherry sends us the agenda with the full packet, which means all the pages that explain everything. So if anybody goes to the township website and there's a spot that says agendas and minutes, you click on that. It always lands Thursday afternoon around 3, 4 o'clock before the Monday meeting. You can see all the pages that explain everything.
Thank
You gotta do it before you come to the meeting.
Thank you.